Okay, so in this video we're just going to have a look at cutting out the section of the slab that to allow in the carport area here. Now, with this drawing, often you might be presented with you're looking for a dimension, but it's just not given to you nice and easily like a lot of these are. So the example I'm going to look at here is this rectangle here. We do have that given to us, 3,400, but the one we don't is from this dotted line to this wall. Okay, so we're going to have to go through a process of working out what that is. Now, yes, in this case I've given it to you here, but how did I get to that answer? So here we can work through that example. Okay, so what I do have over here is an overall dimension that gives me from that corner of the slab up until that corner of the house. And then if I want to go to the corner of the slab, I've got that additional dimension there. So we've got this measurement here, 19,075 plus 1,200 gives us the total distance of the slab from one end to the other. So that is there. Okay. Next, if I want to break this down, and let's have a look at, I can look at this dimension here, plus this one, plus this one, plus this one, gets me to this point here. So this dimension here gets me to that point there. The remaining dimensions, as you can see I've added them up here, gives me this sum, and that gets me that total there. So if I was to add that total there, and this total here, hopefully we should come up with that answer there, which it does. Okay? Or that answer there if you like. Now, okay, we've confirmed our numbers work along this side of the house along here. So if we know that this dimension here gets me up to this point, and I follow that down with my ruler, it gets me down to this point here. Okay, so then I need to work out what this gap is in order to work out what this gap is here as well. So what I've done here is something to note is the wall thickness. We have three different types of wall thickness in this drawing. One is the yellow, 250, and there's only one wall that is like that. The next is 110 mil thick, and I've marked these on the drawing for you. And then the remaining wall thicknesses that are not marked are 150 thick. Okay, so if I'm looking at this here and I know the dimension that gets me to that point, I can then do 150 for that wall. Now I've gone with 1000 here. Now I've just put that in based on measuring with a ruler and our scale, but so it's not the most accurate, but then we can confirm it works via adding our calculations together at the end. So I've gone with that, and then we've got a wall thickness here of 110, and then we have another dimension here of 1000, and then another wall thickness of 110, which gives me this total here. Okay, so now I've got this total here, I've also got that total there, and I've also got the absolute total here. So now we've got those three things. What I could do is start off with this number, subtract 12,000, subtract 2,370, and that leaves me with the number, and that number is over here. Okay, so I've worked out what that is through using my other dimensions. Yes, I did have to have a little bit of a guess there, but then now I have confirmed that this plus this, 5,905 plus 2,370 plus 12,000 does get me accurately to my total. I've also worked down and just checked a couple of other dimensions and everything works there. So that's a little snapshot of how we came up with that dimension. Now applying that to your slab, okay, basically using our guidelines, get inside your group and snap your guidelines to be, this would be 250 here, this would be 3,400 over here, this would be 5,905 over to there, and then you can use the push-pull tool to cut out that section of your slab.